What's going on, guys? It's Jamie. Welcome back to another video. And today, what are we doing?
We're doing push! Well, he's not. He's doing legs, lower.
Yep, I'm in a lower strength session today, guys. But as you can see from the title of this video, we are mainly going to be talking about weightlifting shoes today. More specifically, Addy Powers, which I got a pair off for Christmas. And since then, I've had a lot of questions on Instagram asking like whether they're worth it, whether they're worth buying, do I feel a difference? Loads of different things. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do a YouTube video about it. We are about to go and hit a lower strength session in which I will be starting with low bar, and then later on I'm going to sit down for you guys and have a little talk about the shoes and yeah, just run through a load of stuff. But yeah, guys, I'm at the gym right now, as you can see, and as I said, we're about to go in there and hit a session. From where I'm sitting right now, it sounds like it's a bit of a vibe in there at the minute. It's normally quite quiet on a Monday, so I'm happy. Yeah,
it's really lit.
Yeah, first Monday back at work today, so I'm ready to go and just fuck. Dirty, bro.
Sorry.
Look who's here! Have you ever been on my YouTube channel?
I've never been on the channel.
Oh my god! This is Jono, he's never been on my YouTube channel. Did you feel like special? Big Alan.
I feel well special. I've never been blessed.
I feel like I haven't
normally
seen you
ignore us and leave us in the corner.
So we are up to 140 kilos now. That is the weight for me, really, that I try and keep it raw up until that. So yeah, no, keep the sleeves off, keep the wrist wraps off, keep the belt off, everything like that, just to see how we're moving. That actually felt really smooth. To be honest, my lower back is completely fried. I hit deadlifts on Saturday, it's Monday today, hit deadlifts on Saturday, and yeah, the DOMs on my lower back are still prominent. Like they're pretty bad, which is not handy for squatting. But I'm going to do one more heavy set at 180, just a single, like a loading set, and then I think my working sets are going to be like a lighter weight than that, maybe 160 for 5 sets of 5 or something like that. But yeah, we'll see what 180 feels like first. Alright guys, so that actually surprisingly moves very well. Probably could do some working sets at 180 today, but it's just not worth it. Personally, I don't think it's worth it because, as I said, my lower back is like completely fried still. So I'm gonna drop it down to 160, and I'm gonna do a 5x5 because I can't actually remember the last time that I hit a 5x5 for low bar. So it's just gonna be like a test, really. Might be a little bit lighter than I need, but we're gonna go for 160. So we are about to jump into set 3, and I'm actually super happy with how that weight is feeling. Don't get me wrong, it's not super heavy, it's probably not as hard as I could probably push, but then on the other hand, it's not really easy. So as I said earlier, I haven't done a 5x5 in a long while, so this is really just going to be like a foundation for the rest of the year to see how we can work on the 5x5. But yeah, as I said guys, about to jump into set 3. guys, so we're all wrapped up with the session now. Finished up that 5x5 on squats, and then went on to hit some heavy RDLs and some hip thrust as well. And that is basically my lower strength day with some calf raises added in at the end. And then I've just spent 10-15 minutes upstairs in the gym, rolling out on the foam roller, doing some stretches, trying to get that mobility up, because coming into 2019, one of my main goals was to try and increase my mobility, my flexibility, and I guess just trying to be a bit more like functional all round. I've actually been thinking that I might do like a whole video on this, like how I'm trying to be more mobile in 2019 or something like that. If you guys like the sound of that, if you think it's a good idea, let me know down in the comments and I can definitely do a video like that. But yeah, we're completely wrapped up now, as I said. The session is done, foam rolling is done. I'm going to catch up with you guys when we get back to Lucy's for a review of the Addy Powers. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that leg session there. I decided to keep the sets raw for that one, so it's more just like actual training footage rather than like an edit. Please let me know down below guys if you enjoy that, or if you prefer like the edited footage. I kind of like to mix it up, but I would love to know which one you guys prefer. But anyway, on to the lifters. Now, basically there are two main features of a weightlifting shoe. The first one is going to be an increased stability throughout the whole squat. Obviously you can see the sole is completely flat. At the front here there's literally 5mm of sole. There's obviously the elevation on the heel, but there is literally no movement in the sole at all. There's no squishiness. And the second point is going to be that you're going to be able to hit depth much easier and much more comfortably with the elevated heel. This is because obviously with the heel up in the air, the whole line is shifted forward. This means that your knee line is going to be slightly further forward when looking from the side, and it's also why I would definitely recommend a pair of weightlifting shoes to anyone who struggles to hit depth in flats. Personally, I used to squat in a pair of Vans, and it was never uncomfortable to hit depth, but I could never hit depth like consistently. Whether this is down to me perhaps having poor ankle mobility, or maybe because I'm like 6'2" and it's a long ass way down, I'm not sure, but I feel a lot more comfortable when squatting in these. If you've ever done squats with an elevated heel, then you'll know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, next time you go in the gym, put some small plates on the floor and do some goblet squats with your heels on the plate, and you'll instantly see what I mean. You can hit a super comfortable depth whilst keeping your back in a more upright position, meaning you're not going to be leaning really far forward. The whole thing is just a lot more comfortable. Even with just like a few weeks of using these, I have felt such a difference in my squat. Another important thing that I've noticed since I've been using the Addy Powers is a lot more quad engagement when I'm squatting. On my first leg day of the week, which is my heavy one, the only movement I do for quads is a low bar squat for like 4 or 5 sets. And when I used to squat in flats, the DOMs never used to be like really severe. Obviously they would be there, but they wouldn't be severe. And obviously as I got used to it over time, they wouldn't be really bad. But the first couple of sessions I had with these, just doing like my normal low bar sets, the DOMs like in the days after the session were ridiculous, like as if I had hit a full blown like hypertrophy session, when really I just done like 5 or 6 sets of low bar. And yeah, it was crazy. Because the elevated heel shifts your knee line forward, as I said earlier, you're going to be needing to use more quad to actually get out of the hole, which means more quad activation. So if you Google weightlifting shoe, you'll see a ton of results. There are literally hundreds of different pairs that you can buy. Personally, I would say there are 3 brands that have the best weightlifting shoes, and they would be the Adidas Addy Powers, the Nike Romilio, however you pronounce it, and also the Reebok Legacy Lifter. Initially, I actually wanted the Nike Romilio myself. I read through a ton of reviews online, and the Romalios actually had a lot of negative ones, mainly regarding like the tongue ripping after like a month of use because it's so thin. It is a super clean shoe, as with everything that Nike releases, but a lot of the reviews and comparisons that I looked at, the Addy Powers always came out on top. And yeah, at the end of the day, they're just like, I think personally they're just one of the best ones on the market, and they look super nice as well. If you are going to go with the Addy Powers though guys, I would definitely recommend sizing up either half a size or a whole size. It was actually Carl who pointed this out to me in the first place, because I think he actually got the size that he just wears in trainers, and they were tight on the toe and uncomfortable. He literally only has them on for squats and then he has to take them off. I actually went up a whole size. They're super comfortable. I have a little bit of wiggle room in the front of mine, which is the way I like it. Although saying that, I have spoken to a few people since who actually prefer like a tighter fit, a more uncomfortable fit, because their feet are like glued into the shoe. They're not going to move anywhere, and I think it just makes them feel more stable. But that bit is going to come down to personal preference, whether you want it uncomfortable and literally wear them just for squats, or whether you want a more comfortable fit and you can have them on for a whole leg session like I can. But to kind of wrap this up to a point, guys, when people ask me if I would recommend a weightlifting shoe, I would say yes, 100%. The benefit I've noticed from them has been like really good since I've been using them, and I'm obviously only going to get more used to it as well. I'm actually really excited to see how far I can take my squat this year using weightlifting shoes as opposed to using like flats and Vans like which I was doing last year. So, but I think really if you're just looking to benefit your squat, be a lot more comfortable in the squat and definitely like improve your squat technique as a whole, I would 100% recommend them. Price wise, I think the Adipowers RRP is like £150. I actually got these for Christmas from Lucy, so thank you very much if you're watching this. She actually got them on sale for a cheaper price than that. The Nikes, on the other hand, are going to be a little bit more expensive. I think they come in at about £170, and then I think the Reeboks probably come in a little bit cheaper. But if you're willing to invest in a pair, I would definitely recommend it, as I said. Obviously, if you're only wearing them a couple of times a week like I am, and you're taking good care of them, then they're going to last you for a long while. But guys, that is it for this video. I am going to leave it here. Really hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully some of you found it helpful if you are considering buying a pair of weightlifting shoes. I hope I answered any questions that you may have. If I've missed anything that you guys would still want to know, drop a comment down below in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Smash that thumbs up button if you did enjoy the video, and if you are not already, hit that subscribe button, guys. It would mean a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.